Welcome back to ASEAN Business Report, and for this final part of the show, we have in our studio an interview with an academic from SASIN of Chulalongkorn University, which he's recognized as an expert on competitiveness. ดร.พงศักดิ์ คุณตระกูล สวัสดีครับ ดร. ครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Dr. พงศักดิ์ ครับ can you, from the performance of Thailand in the past 5 years, can you assess Thailand's competitiveness?
I'm very sad to say that Thailand competitiveness have been slipping steadily in the last 5 years. This year we slip another knot. In relative term, we have not done well in the public institution in all this area. Okay, today we can give some sort of overview, but in early next month we will have an in-depth interview with TDI analysts as well. Yes.
And according to the Global Competitiveness Report for 2011-2012, Thailand has slipped by one notch, and now it's ranked at 39 in terms of competitiveness. What factors would you say contributed to this drop?
Well, it's the same old story. World Economic Forum survey have coming out in the last 5 years, saying that the public institute and political instability, and at the same time primary education have been steadily decline, and there's no at the moment there's no way to improve insight at the moment. This is contribute to a lot have to do with we are focusing too much on the short term and do not try to pay attention in medium to long term. In order to increase our productivity, which is equated to how to improve social welfare, we need to focus more on medium to long term as well.
I see. Dr. พงศักดิ์ and if you compare Thailand to other countries in the ASEAN region, how is Thailand's performance relative?
We are essentially quite stable and steadily downward. Some country doing well than another. Vietnam, for example, have been moving up, and then Indonesia also have done well. But at the end, a country like Malaysia and Thailand still stuck in the middle income trap. Unless we can improve with the innovation and sophistication in business work, it's very difficult to foresee how we can graduate to be high income country. Yes.
Which areas are the strengths of Thailand and the weaknesses of Thailand? Can you elaborate on those areas?
Well, if you talk into detail, I would prefer to take in early October, but just to give a preview again, in contrary to a lot of people believe, our physical infrastructure, particularly the aviation, is quite good. We are second to Singapore in ASEAN. Our road system is quite good. I would say almost second or the third place in ASEAN. So if you're thinking about East-West corridor, ASEAN connectivity and all this is actually a good area to be focusing in. The weakest in physical infrastructure seem to be rail system. Our system is obsolete. You just look at airport link, for example, they are actually built and done, but nobody hardly use it. The reason why we have to really spread it out maybe in early October what to do. Now, what's your second part of the question?
The weaknesses, the areas of weaknesses.
The weaknesses, another thing that I think have been chronic and it's a shame for our nation is have to do with high school education. If your high school education is not moving up the ladder, we actually depreciate or deteriorated in the last 5 years. It's very difficult to imagine in the next 5 to 10 years how can Thailand move up to a higher income, and also how we can go into higher value-added industry like creative industry or software type of industry or service-oriented with industry.
What about in our food industry? How are we doing on that?
In this survey, we did not specifically look into food industry and all this. So At the moment, I would refrain to comment on this based on World Economic Forum report.
Dr. Pongsak, and in the light of the coming years, how do you see Thailand performing in ASEAN with the competitiveness that we were drawn with?
Well, if you talk about incoming year, it has to do with how we, as a whole, as a country as a whole, put our act together and form serious, actionable strategy which focus more on productivity enhancement or improvement. This a lot have to do with the government have to engage more with the private sector and also listen to academic world and maybe look into more of a fundamental pillar like education, how we can resolve this. One of the ways that I suggest long ago, even last year, is that public schools, for example, should the high school services should be provided by private sector, and then the regulation can be done by public sector. That's public-private sector would be one of the ways to increase efficiency and productivity and quality of the education system, for example. Yes.
Well, and for human resources, is Thailand, comparatively to other countries, human resources, particularly education, do you think we have time, also another resource, to reform before we union into the ASEAN integration?
This is a very good question. Time is the essence. Now, if you cannot reform yourself in time, one of the ways to do it is to import them. I'd like you to actually contrast between higher education like Sasin of business school and lower education, underlying high school education system. The reason that our university and like Sasin business school are doing not too bad, or we actually leading in this area, is that we are more open to foreign or top tier business school or university engagement. But in contrary, when you look at high school system in Thailand, particularly state-owned high school system, it's quite close. And then it's very difficult to change the whole institution or even the way or mindset of this group of people. We need to open up this a little bit. I think that is one of the things. If you talk about human development and all this, we also have to adapt the same thing. If we cannot reform fast enough, we have to welcome skill and then expert foreign worker or expert to come in to join. Import, they have to import it. And then this import, mix, open, semi-open will, at the end of the day, give you transfer of this knowledge and technology. We have to open up, especially in the one that we do poorly, like high school vocational training. I believe vocational training is it's something that has been ignored for too long. Everybody try to get a university degree and then end up don't have enough qualified skill set to serve the industry. But at the same time, we are missing mechanic and even IT technician. We need all those people.
Yes.
Earlier in the interview, you mentioned the need for the government to listen to the private sector. Are there some policies you would like to see the government implement to improve the competitiveness of Thailand?
Very good question and a very big question,
Big question.
We don't have much time to elaborate, but I would like to say this. The current government appear, I use the word appear, to listen to scholars more, and they want to engage with organizations like World Economic Forum, which is going to be hosted next year in May, June. And then they want to engage more with the Sasin Bangkok Forum, which our theme would be to improve social welfare and competitiveness for Thailand and ASEAN, which is in July next year. This is a good sign. But how far can we do is remain to be seen. We need a lot of support from the media to point out that people are not content with a short-term measure and also want to see the medium to long-term measure how we strategically want to position Thailand, especially in upcoming AEC 2015, which is quite interesting to see how we're going to adjust to this.
I see.
That's
And
it.
we'll do our part as the media, and let's be hopeful for the future, Ajahn.
I thank you all for this, actually.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
สวัสดีครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
And that's all the time we have for today. You can watch ASEAN Business Report from Mondays to Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. And also, you can follow us online via Facebook, www.facebook.com/ASEAN Business Report, as well as Twitter at ASEANBizReport.com. This is Natakon Blondie.
And I'm Weena Jong Prasid. Have a nice day ขอบคุณค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ